Michael Jordan is ready for some summer athletics in today's game, California Games, for your Atari 2600, 7800, and Sears Telegames video arcade systems. I really like the logo. Palm tree, nice touch. Let's go ahead and take California Games, pop it in my Atari 7800, and see how it holds up today. Let's go to the game. California Games was published by EPYX and carries a copyright year of 1988. It is based on the 1987 computer game and was programmed by Peter Engelbreit and Steve Baker, who also programmed the 2600 versions of Summer Games and Winter Games. California Games was also one of the few commercially released games on the 2600 with 16K memory, which was 4 to 8 times bigger than your typical Atari 2600 game. This was done to help compete with NES games, which were very popular at the time of its release. California Games is for 1 to 8 players alternating and contains 4 events: footbag, half-pipe skateboard, BMX bike racing, and surfing. When you begin your game, you get to pick a sponsor. You have 8 choices: EPYX, Del Mar, Jet Ski, Santa Cruz, Ocean Pacific, Casio, Ozzy, and Spin Jam. Once everyone selects a sponsor, the games begin. You can either go through all 4 events, getting ranked after each one, or you can use the select button to practice a single event. If you're playing with more than one player, you will take turns sharing the same joystick. The first game is the footbag, or probably better known as hacky sack. You have 90 seconds to complete as many tricks as possible, earning points. Points are based on the difficulty of the trick, the number of tricks you've done in a row, as well as repeating specific tricks. You press a button to kick the ball up in the air to start, and use a joystick to move left or right. You can press up on the joystick to make your player jump and try to headbutt the ball in order to send it high in the air. Pressing down on the joystick will cause your character to turn around. However, your character must be facing forward in order to reset the hacky sack if it falls to the ground. As the ball falls close to your feet, pressing the button will cause you to kick it back up in the air, with different kicks performed based on the location of the ball to your feet. I found this event to be surprisingly entertaining. The second event is the half-pipe skateboarding event. You press a button to start. Pressing up on the joystick when you're moving up on the ramp and down on the joystick when you're moving down on the ramp will help you gain speed. Just like the footbag, you have 90 seconds to pull off as many tricks as possible to earn points. You can earn points by doing turns on either side of the ramp by pushing the joystick in the opposite direction when you want to do the turn. You get the most points by doing turns in the air, with more points being awarded the higher you are. There is a rhythm when letting go of the joystick, as holding it for too long or letting go of it too soon can cause you to fall and have to restart at the top of the ramp. You can also do a hand plant by pressing the button near the top edge of the ramp. However, I found this almost near impossible to pull off. But despite this, the event was still fun to play. The third event is BMX Bike Racing. Your goal is to get through the course as quickly as possible while performing tricks. The course is divided into 7 sections marked off by yellow flags. You're given 30 seconds to complete each one of the 7 sections, with bonus points awarded for completing them quickly. There are also blue bonus flags you can pick up by riding over them, with extra bonus points for collecting them all. The button is used to start the event and to jump your bike. Holding the joystick to the right will cause you to speed up, while holding it to the left will cause you to slow down. When you are airborne, you can press up on the joystick to perform a flip and down to do a tabletop. If you are high enough, you can actually do 3 flips in a row before landing, but you must land level in order not to crash. This event was both difficult due to all the obstacles, but it was also extremely fun. The final event is surfing. Like footbag and skateboarding, the event gives you 90 seconds to perform as many tricks as possible. You press the button to start the event and push up on the joystick to steer to the left and down to steer to the right. Holding the button down while turning will help you turn quicker. If you are steady enough, you can press right on the joystick to try to perform a hang 10. You can wipe out by going too high or too low, or too much to the left, or falling while trying to do a hang 10. If you do fall, you must wait a few seconds before rejoining the competition. When you go airborne, it is possible to return to the wave if the nose of your board is at the correct downward facing angle. You can also try and do a spin in the air by holding up or down on the joystick while in the air. This event was the hardest for me to get a hold of, yet I still had some enjoyment while performing it. After each event, ribbons are awarded to the top 3 participants. First place gets a blue ribbon that's worth 5 points, second place gets a red ribbon worth 3 points, and third place gets a white ribbon worth 2 points apiece. At the end of all 4 events, the person with the most points is considered the California champion. Graphically speaking, I think the game looks great considering this is on an Atari 2600. I like how the hacky sack guy is nice and large, even if he does have a blocky head and haircut style. I also thought the skateboard event looked great as a whole, and I like the stick figure bike riding guy for the BMX event. I even like the rainbow special effects they put at the beginning of the game. Sound and music wise, this might be one of my favorite sounding games on the system. Not only does it have great music and sounds, but it also has an excellent rendition of Louie Louie. When I owned this game growing up, there were actually times when I left the beginning of the game on just so I could listen to the music and watch the rainbow effects while the music played. And yes, this is a family friendly game. At the time of my research on eBay, loose copies were going for about $6, complete copies were going for $11 to $13, and new copies were going for $18, and those prices include shipping. So what did I think of California Games on the 2600? This is a great collection of games for the system, and it's also the best of the games trilogy partnered with Summer Games and Winter Games, even though it has the least amount of events of the three. I enjoyed every event in this game, with BMX Racing being my favorite. They're simple to learn but sometimes difficult to master, but that can be said about several great games. And as I've said before, the music is awesome. Even if you are playing by yourself, this is a blast to play. It can even compete with versions of the game on systems with more power. So where am I going to rank California Games? Well, this might surprise you, but for me, it's going to be in the top 10. I actually like it more than Phoenix at number 6, but I do prefer Dig Dug at 5. So out of the 78 games I've reviewed on the 2600, California Games is hacky sacking in at number 6. California Games is an all-around great title on the 2600. If you enjoy retro-related videos, would you please click like and subscribe? I'm also a member of the Retro Junkies Network. You can find more retro podcasts and videos at theretrojunkies.com. You can also support the show on Patreon. Just go to patreon.com/NoSwearGamer for more information. Thank you for giving me a little part of your day, and I look forward to seeing you next time on the next episode of the No Swear Gamer. Take care and hang 10.